day, ladies and gentlemen. It is Wednesday, April 4th, 3rd, 2024. I'm here with Michael Wood, the executive chairman of Sendero Resources. Sendero put out the first drill results from their current drill program at Penis Negras in the Vicuna. The market apparently wasn't happy with the news release. The stock's been selling off pretty hard. I think personally the reaction's a bit overdone. I mean, a lot of the times this stuff comes down to expectations. I wasn't expecting anything really in the first couple of holes at the other targets, and I thought the result from the first hole at La Gita, which is basically 256 meters of 0.53 grams per ton gold equivalent, mainly gold. There's a bit of copper, a bit of silver, but it's mainly gold. Uh, yeah, it's not a oh my God, knock your socks off drill hole, but it's pretty good for the first hole into a target they didn't know that much about and that they're still learning. And as I think Michael will point out, it's broadly similar to the grades that say Jose Maria and Caserones in the region. That are obviously much more highly valued projects, and I believe Jose Maria is, going to go into production. So it's not like it was a terrible drill hole. The first, like I said, the first two holes, the other targets, I wasn't expecting anything. So whatever. I thought it was a pretty good start. I wasn't expecting the stock to rocket or anything, but I'm a little bit surprised it's selling off as hard as it is. I know you're equally, if not more, surprised, Michael, at how the market's reacting. And one thing I'll point out is, it's always good to remember that, in the stock market, sentiment always follows price. So essentially, the market has decided it wasn't a great hold because the stock isn't trading well today. It's not really, you can say that's an objective measure, but it's good to keep in mind that the market's not always right, and two, the market's decided it's not a good hold because of the way it's trading, not the other way around. That's the way I read it anyway. So you want to give us management's view of these results, Michael? What are you guys thinking?
Yeah, definitely, Aaron. No, thanks for the intro. And internally, we always had target grade, and we communicated this from day one on a gold dominant system of 0.5 grams per ton gold equivalent. On a copper dominant system, 0.5% copper equivalent. So, we've achieved that in our first drill hole into a very complex geological system, right? This is not just a standalone porphyry. Look at this first drill hole. We've hit a high sulfidation epithermal cap. We've hit two phases of porphyry mineralization, and we haven't drilled out the bottom of the system. We've drilled into a post-mineral fault zone, right? So the lower porphyry, the older porphyry, the higher grade porphyry, and you can see from the in the press release that we put out that the grade is picking up as we get deeper into that porphyry, and then we lose it due to a post-mineral fault zone, i.e., a fault zone coming through at a younger age after that porphyry has already been laid down. So very complex geology. But to see those three phases of mineralization is great to see in this first hole. It's exactly what we'll be seeing. The telescope nature of those three phases of mineralization overlapping each other has given us good grade. And I think it's trying to reference, like you touch on, the resource grade of the nearby deposits. A lot of these deposits is about scale, right? This is one hole. Obviously, it doesn't show scale. We're just starting out, and that's what we're aiming to do. But from our perspective, it's above our target grade from the first hole into the deposit, which is very encouraging. And hopefully, we can come out with high grade holes from the next few holes, and we'll communicate those. I think it's hard to gauge the nature of the deposit on one drill hole. Right, this is a 3-inch diameter hole into an area we're already saying it's at least 600 meters by 600 meters. It's a small snapshot of the deposit. And it's a very complex deposit, and it's going to take time getting used to. As we understand the deposit, we understand the geometry of the deposit, we understand the mineralogy, we'll start to understand the grade distribution, and then it'll be far easier to target the higher grade zones, which there will definitely be there. Look, from the historic drill data, Eric, the old Eldorado stuff, the shallow stuff, there was an intercept of 20 grams of gold over 2 meters, right? So there's 20 gram gold in this system. It's going to take time to work out. We're an exploration company. We're just starting out, but we are in a very attractive district that has deposits of vast scale. And that's what we're aiming to achieve, what we always have been. So yeah, we're very delighted. And like you touched on, I can tell you before the market opened, I was getting all kinds of, well, amazing discovery, congratulations. And then the market sells off quite heavily, and I think that's definitely driving some frustration with other people throwing in the towel. I mean, I touch on right now at 20 cents, we're a 12 million market cap company. We're back where we started with the IPO. We're in the Vicuña district. We have 211 square kilometers. We've already hit a telescope system in Vicuña of grade that is similar to the local deposits resource grade. So, we're very encouraged. We believe we've added a lot of value already to the company since the IPO last October. And I think optimistically, this is oversold. Like you touched on, the stock market is a fascinating thing. We've traded about 2 million shares today. That's what 2% of the company, right? Less than 3% of the company, but that sets the price. So unfortunately, right now we're in a bad situation where our share price has gone from 30 cents to 20 cents in the morning of a day. But it could also bounce back pretty quickly as well once things stabilize and cooler heads hopefully take over, and we can get some new investors in, or established investors that understand the story and understand that we're onto something here. This is a meaningful drill hole. It's like you say, it's not a blockbuster, but this is a first drill hole we put into the target, and it's a big target of very complex geology.
You talk about telescope system. I think so far you're largely in the high sulfidation part of the system. I mean, you haven't yet got right into true porphyry, but I mean, you figure it's down there somewhere and probably not too far down there. But as of now, you're essentially drilling high sulfidation epithermal, really.
We're seeing the quartzite. We describe it as dicite, form of andesitic porphyry. We're seeing that quartzite porphyry nature in there. We're seeing that the potassic alteration merging with the high sulfidation. But we're definitely not into the heart of the porphyry. Exactly, and the grade there will be higher, right? For sure. We're on the peripheral. We've got about 94 meters of that older porphyry before we lose it into the fault zone. So that it's definitely going to be bigger than 94 meters. So we're learning, right? Where's it gone? It's exploration. So it's great to hit two phases of porphyry mineralization below the epithermal. I think it's fair to say the epithermal is more dominant. But I think also looking just at a pure exploration play, you can just look for this lithocap system. Lithocaps, they're kind of flat structures, right? And they can be multiple square kilometers, right? So we're seeing the lithocap's been affected by high sulfidation, and also porphyry style mineralization in the lithocap has come up. So we can get good continuous grade in this lithocap that can produce a nice bed, a nice shallow deposit, which should be a very economic deposit. So, if you're worried about a grade, you can say, okay, well, why don't you just take the first 70 meters off that 0.66, which is half a gram copper equivalent. That's an angle. You could, okay, maybe you're not going to keep going super deep. You could just go and mine the lithocap, is one angle. And we are seeing the lithocap gets deeper as we go further north, right? So we're definitely in holes 5 and 6, we've seen a lot thicker intersects of that lithocap. So we're delighted, Eric. Internally, this is great. We feel we've made a discovery, a meaningful discovery in Vicuña, and I think it's just going to take a bit of time to educate the market on what we're finding. Show them more drill holes will definitely help, and move forward. This is a process, Eric. It's obviously takes time, and you have ups and downs, and better than me. Most exploration successes have some massive pullbacks. I mean, there's lots of quotes on how many times you get a 50% retracement in a stock that becomes a 10 bagger, and it's usually multiple. So part of the game. I think my job is to get the narrative out and explain to investors our perspective and look at this and say, look, this is 12, 15, whatever the entry point is, market cap. You're in a district where everybody else is $1 billion plus. They're a lot more advanced than us, but we're showing you the same geology. We're showing you the same kind of grade as those resources that are multi-billion-dollar asset values.
Right. Okay. And you're on what, hole 7 now, I think?
Yeah, hole 7 now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically your sense is that you guys are vectoring in. I mean, you're getting as we see these new holes come out, there'll be a sort of a more complete understanding of what this system looks like and where you guys want to go. You also noted that there's, I think Dave Royal in particular was, um, having seen the first few holes here, I guess he's actually looking at some other lithocaps on the property that you hadn't spent a lot of time on before.
Yeah, that's correct, Eric. And like what we've seen in this lithocap, and there's a known lithocap, substantial one down in Rizuko, where we know there's gold mineralization within the lithocap. So just to like some lithocaps are barren,
Yeah.
right? But when they're hosting mineralization, it's like a kind of breccia form. It can be, very continuous and quite easy once you get your teeth into it to make a discovery and then mine it. So like, yeah, we've also got lithocap down in Mizuko that we know hosts gold mineralization from historic geochemistry with Dave. Dave was down there when he was at the project doing some initial field work there. And then there's 2 lithocap targets also on the new JV ground that we have with the local provincial government. So we've done some initial work there as well. So, I think it opens up, if we can start to show a multi-million ounce deposit at that JITA, and then also we start opening up these other ones, and you've really got a district scale play of a lot of metal content just in those lithocaps. That's even without going down, super deep. They would all be, shallow, within kind of 200-300 meters from surface. Look, lithocaps can go down a kilometer. They can be extremely thick in places, but let's assume, you're looking at that. But we're also seeing porphyries buried below this first lithocap, and most likely, we'll see a similar situation at the others. It's to be explored.
Okay. And so, I mean, now that results have started coming, you're thinking it's probably not too long before we see a couple more holes.
Yeah, hopefully, Eric. And I think, look, and I think there's also a sentiment from the naysayers that we've been sitting on these resorts, not hole 3. We didn't get back the final essays of hole 3 till last Thursday, before the Easter weekend. We've worked over the Easter weekend to get these out as soon as we could, right, to the market. So 2 days after the long weekend. So yeah, look, we're a little bit at the mercy of the labs as everybody is, but it's relatively quick turnaround, right? We started drilling on January the 10th. By April the 3rd, we got out the first 3 holes. So pretty happy with that, and definitely we want to get out the next holes. We have a view that these holes are going to get better as we get more into the system, but we don't know.
Yeah.
So we want to see the assays as much as everybody else.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I think that covers things for today. I mean, I'll probably have a call at some point with Dave Royal. Maybe once there's a few more holes out, and he can talk about the system a bit more. Tough sledding today in the market, but I tend to agree with Michael that the market's kind of overreacted to this. I mean, it's a pretty good first hole. It's not stupendous, but it's a pretty good start, and it's obviously a mineralized system. We know from Eldorado's work there's at least probably several 100,000 shallow ounces sitting there already, and it looks like you guys are going to grow that. So stay tuned, folks. I don't think the story's over yet. Sendero Resources, SEND on the venture. Thanks for coming by on a less than fun day, Michael. We'll catch up again soon. I guess once you get the next couple of holes out, we'll talk again.
Great. No, thanks, Eric.